So I have an art project for you. Take a rock that's about 3 or 4 inches, about 4 inches wide by about 4 inches roughly, 5 inches at the very most across. Fairly flat, maybe an inch thick at the most, not round, not fat at all. It's fairly skinny rock. Then a similar rock that's about 2 inches across, no more than 2 inches. Then a little tiny one that's about an inch across, inch and a half across, something like that. Now, take a subject that you typically like to paint, or pick a symbol that you can easily relate to and that you think you might be able to draw or paint. Like an equal sign. Or what is it, emojis or something? Emojis? Emojis? Yeah, so something like that, just something idiotic like that. You know, make it something that's so stupid, it's text level, and you know what I mean? It's that level of dumb. And put that on a rock. And then hollow it out and then crowd it in so you have a crowded black line, which is a balloon letter. And then you leave the letters rock texture. Leave the rock texture in as the balloon lettering. Color everything but that. If you sent for my sample kit, you will have 13 or 14 examples of, I can't remember how many it comes to. I think it's, I don't know. It's a lot. You get examples of things that you can do with this material at home and make money at. You've got about $600, in that $100 kit, you've got about $600 for retail, maybe more. So I hope you actually realize that. I mean, I don't mean to realize, I mean, I hope you understand that, but I also hope you actually get that, to actually are able to sell those things for something more than you paid for them. You should be able to. But this is Trump world. And it is unknown territory. We don't know what's going to happen. And the middle class is basically headed toward labor camps and working on infrastructure. You don't really want to be caught in that, but it might happen. You take a landscape and translate it, your favorite landscape, your favorite subject matter, whatever it might be, you know, Mr. Brown's farm, whatever. So you make it into a large piece. Now, I'm not, when I say symbol like an equal sign, I really don't want you to get that ridiculously simple with it, but you can if you want to. So then you go down to this next smaller size and then the smaller size until you actually can put the whole thing onto a small size stone. Okay? So you've translated an image down, say a landscape or a nude or a still life or a figure drawing or an abstract, whatever it is, and you've taken it down to a little tiny. The typical piece that you want to produce is a 1/2 inch by 1 inch. 1/2 by 1. They're tiny, minuscule things. When I By the way, one of the things that's wonderful about working with stones as opposed to coins for me is that I don't have to use my snoot. I don't have to wear my optivisor for the stones. The stones I can paint with my regular glasses. I don't have to have that special magnification extra on top of my glasses. So that's very, very fun. Anyway, when you're selecting stones, you don't think of selecting stones, right? Oh man, it's the same thing as a bank. It's worse than a bank because it's like buying Wheaties. When you buy stones, it's like buying Wheaties. Wheat coins, Lincoln wheat coins. You can't just step them back to the bank. They're worth too much. But you can't sell them because they're not worth enough. So you got a big pile, let's say a bag of rocks. Let's say it's a 50-pound bag of rocks, which, by the way, has only cost you about $6 or something like that. It's ridiculous. So cheap. So you take these rocks and lay them out and pick through them. We talk about American pickers. You pick through these rocks as if they were valuable. What are you looking for? You're looking for rocks you don't want to paint. They're too rough, they're too lumpy, they're the wrong shape. You don't want to paint them. So you put those in a box, reject box. That's your biggest box. Then you want to isolate all rounds because those are your game pieces. Those are almost perfectly round or better. They're perfectly round to almost perfectly round. They're not oblongs or oblates at all. They're not scaraboids. Scaraboid is another thing you could look for. Scaraboid is a longer round. It's a round, but it's elongated a bit. Yeah, I'll get there. So then, you have the most amazing thing you'll see is out of nature will come these cameos, as you said, cameos, which are perfectly oval, beautifully made oval, low dome, settable stones that actually resemble high gemstones. But they're river rocks. Perfect, incredible. So you paint those. Well, those are cameo, or they are ring stones, or they are brooches. They're beautiful, very, very elaborately ground down into perfect symmetrics, completely perfect symmetrics, natural symmetrics. Amazing. The odds against that. And that's one of the luckiest things in nature you'll find. Then you also will want to have a section for those things that you want to paint, that are good for painting. And that'll be a box too. Almost as big as your reject box. Those little ring stones, though, those things are going to, well, I'll tell you what, if you can use those and you can actually capitalize on those by putting some good images on there, wow, can you make a bundle? Because there are jewelers out there who would give anything for that kind of stuff. That is so unique, nobody else has it. Hammacher Schlemmers would go nuts over stuff like that. But I don't know how to market to them, and I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to bother. But you might do it. Something else we're doing is Michelle's been working to recreate my